An exclusive interview with Dr. Kit Miyamoto. I, Joel Aziz, have the great honor and pleasure tonight hosting Dr. Kit Miyamoto. Finally. I can see that my dream came true.
Right. Thanks so much. It's my dream come true too.
Dr. Miyamoto, you are a world-leading expert in disaster resiliency and emergency response. If we first allow me to tell you, you are most welcome in this exclusive interview that I'm quite sure will be broadcasted widely and everybody will see it. Actually, when we say Miyamoto Relief and Miyamoto International, stretching back to history, when this company has seen the light, and what is your vision and purpose and objective about the same?
Yeah. So when we started in about 20 years ago, we have 5 people, and we just did engineering in California. And we're doing good things, some schools, all that kind of stuff. We're doing that good, but we want to do more than that. We want to actually share our technology to everywhere, from Japanese, American technology.
Definitely.
That's what we want to do. So essentially, that we actually grow from there to just 30 different locations, 5 different, just all over the places. And Miyamoto International is a business, right? So we can do things where we can work for government or private sector or UN agency or stuff like that.
Definitely.
But there's gaps in society. There's no money at all whatsoever. So we actually made up Miyamoto Relief so we can raise the funding to address certain things in the gaps. That's what we do.
Definitely. And you were addressing, to the best of my knowledge, if I'm mistaken, please correct me, Dr. Miyamoto, you were addressing the most vulnerable communities and people at high risk, especially or namely when they don't have a good habitation or location to live under an earthquake supposedly to strike or take place.
That's right. I mean, I personally lived in Haiti from 2010 to 2014 after the earthquake, which killed 300,000 people. Today I spend most of the time in Turkey, southern Turkey, where they killed 50,000 people in this February, and also Ukraine and quite a bit because of war damage, reconstructions and
Definitely.
so on. So that's what we do. It's we just want to go to a place where the people need that type of technological assistance.
Definitely.
That's our focus. That's what we live for, actually.
Sure. And when we say our focus is for those people who are in great need for high technology, I'm going to ask myself a question. If those people, they have this great need for high technology, but they don't have enough income fund to live in high technology, how would Dr. Kit Miyamoto, with the extensive pool of experts and technicians and engineers, would do?
Actually, there's a myth that the technology is more expensive, but actually it's not true. Actually, using the high-tech devices is actually making it even cheaper and better. For example, talking about Haiti, right? It's one of the poorest countries in the world. They have the buildings with this latest technology called seismic energy dissipators, dozens of them.
Yes.
Sure. So yes, it's definitely that you can make it better, you can make it cheaper, actually, affordable. I think that's really critical.
So you are, I can say, on the good track of handling everything in Miyamoto.
Handling everything like?
Any struggle or fundraising that might not be sufficient to finish up or have a good ending.
Challenging every day. I mean, just no question about it, because we're in a very difficult environment, from war in Ukraine to the civil unrest in Haiti, to the disaster in Turkey, to
Beirut blast in Lebanon.
Yeah,
and you've done a lot. Tell us more, because we are concerned here, highly concerned, and we are happy and really proud as Lebanese citizens to know that Miyamoto Relief has done so far a lot for Lebanon, especially after the Beirut blast. Tell us more.
I'm so honored to be able to be a part of this society actually, and I'm so honored to have that Carl. He was one of the best engineers actually in California, and he said to go back home. To where? Right here.
Wow.
Beirut. So it's to me like a perfect occasion to have him to just build this office here.
Yes. And tell us more about the developments of the project, especially that you are dealing with the AFCP project. Can you tell us more, Dr. Kit?
So that's the American ambassador for the cultural preservation, and that's a very important funds. And just American embassy basically donated money for the countries to preserve the cultural heritage components of it. Some cases they donate money to make a difference. For example, Nepal, we retrofit a whole house damaged by the earthquake. But this particular case actually at a much bigger scale because of the create this guideline, create this knowledge base, create the capacity to able to preserve the cultural heritage, especially after the earthquakes or before the earthquake.
Capacity buildings and skills enhancing. Is it a difficult process in order to preserve the cultural heritage?
It's difficult because you don't want to disturb that. You want to make sure that the heritage, the fabric, stay together. You don't want to see some concrete sticking out, steels and stuff, right? So it's definitely a challenge, but it's definitely the ways of doing that. In some cases, using the ancient material works. For example, that when we work for the UNESCO type of buildings, you have to respect mud,
the norms,
brick. Yes,
the norms.
You
definitely.
cannot put steel in. Yeah.
Is it easy to abide by the norms and respect the same?
I think once you try to really seriously respect and understand what is the actual characteristic of it, it really works. For example, Afghanistan, those clay buildings we saw, those are 50 centimeter wide wall, 5 meters high. It works so great and under the big earthquake conditions if it's built right. So but have to build right, you know what I mean?
Dr. Kit, around the clock, you are always thinking of those most vulnerable societies and people. Tell me more, what's your future vision or mission before closing up?
We'll keep doing it. I mean, our mission is so critical. Last summer I was in Haiti after the earthquake. They have 2021 Haitian earthquake. It's a bad one in the jungles. And I was talking to one Mason, young guy, and he said that he was actually building this concrete structure at school, and he was doing everything right. I go, my goodness, how do you know this? Did I maybe train you sometimes? He said, no, I don't know who the heck you are.
Wow.
This is something that the norm. This is something we learn from trade schools. Because that's something we set up years ago. You know what I mean? So to me, that's a kind of legacy I wanna keep giving.
One more question.
Yeah.
I was reading in these books that Dr. Miyamoto, he was really touched by an earthquake that hit thousands of children. And that was the motto and the special and unique cachet for you to start up. Tell us, please.
Well, you're talking about Sichuan earthquake. Is that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a 2008 Sichuan earthquake. Is probably one of the worst earthquake I have ever been. Probably will be, hopefully. The reason is earthquake happened in the mountain at 2:30 p.m.
Wow.
And those schools in Sichuan at the time, it's pretty dangerous buildings made of brick, made of just no seismic concentrations. Those are gigantic schools.
Oh my God.
There are 1,000 kids in there. One school I know there's at least 2,000 kids in there. No survivor.
Oh my God. Oof.
So it's like, but you don't have to be that way at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I think doing a little things, makes a huge difference. And that's basically what, I want to do, we want to do.
I would say, Dr. Miyamoto, you're not only making homes safer against earthquakes, you're making lives of people safer in order to live happily. Thank you.
We try.
Really.
Thank you.
What's your message to the audience before I thank you again? What's your great message to our audience?
I think the myth about so-called risk reductions or unavoidable. People just say unavoidable. Earthquake happens, we're going to lose everything because we can do anything, because we can't afford to do anything right now. That's not true. I've seen this in the post countries, in Haiti to remote countryside in Mexico. If the people are willing to do things, it's actually affordable to reduce this risk tremendous amount.
Definitely, definitely. Dr. Miyamoto, I, Joel Aziz, have to thank you again and again. Until we meet again, I wish you best of luck, best of great missions, and best of endeavors. Thank you.
I think I need it. Thank you.
Thank you.